I work a 9 to 5, as many of us do, so we all know how that goes. By the end of the day, right, you're tired and the few hours before bed go by pretty quickly. So that doesn't really leave a lot of time for the things that I want to do, i.e. things like this. So my weekends have become both a time to rest and reset, but also to work on my little side things, right? My content creation, writing, all that good stuff. So doing a mix of both on the weekends is how I stay grounded, but also put that work in so that I can slowly build the life that I'm dreaming of. So today I'm taking you through a cozy weekend workday. I think this is the first time I've kind of ever done / shown something like this. It's gonna be fun. We are doing some planning. We're doing a lot of filming. We've got a lot of filming to do today. And yeah, we're just gonna find some pockets of peace in between all that good stuff. Hello, lovely people. If you're new here, my name is Amira, and around here we talk about mindful productivity, self-care, and building systems that support an intentional life. This is another episode of the Mindful Life Diaries, basically a little vlog series I have on here where I'm essentially showing you the behind the scenes about how I go about building just a more intentional life. And if you've been following along with me thus far, you probably noticed something different, so we'll talk about that soon. In addition to all that, basically just some updates to share and some cozy systems that I'm gonna walk you through. So let's get to it. Okay, so I love a good vloggy vlog, but I also want to kind of do this vlog with a little bit of a theme and a purpose. So basically I want to talk about how I've been figuring out how to use my weekends to make progress on my creative goals without burning out. So an instrumental part of that is grounding myself in rituals and routines, right? You know, I love a good ritual. I talk about it all the time on here. I have templates dedicated towards routines and rituals. So I definitely do think for me, particularly on the weekend, because I have a lot more space for that, right? I think that's a good way to switch off from 9 to 5 weekday mode into more kind of weekend relaxation, but also like soft hustle mode. So instead of blabbing about it, I'm just gonna show you what that looks like in practice in real time as I go through it. After I eat breakfast, I always start off with making my warm drink. I feel like my day does not start until I have a warm mug in my hand. Usually my morning drink of choice is matcha. I'll either do a cashew or almond milk and some kind of syrup, sometimes a homemade lavender syrup, or maybe blueberry or strawberry, or sometimes maple, or sometimes just honey or coconut sugar. I then jot down a few intentions in my gratitude journal. This is part of a pack of routine templates that I created for myself in Notion. So during busy or transitional seasons like the move I have coming up, this helps me feel grounded even when things around me feel a little shaky, to say the least. Ideally in the morning, I like to get a bit of movement in, so this can look different from day to day. Sometimes it's before or after breakfast, sometimes it's a short walk outside, or some Pilates, or some gentle stretching. Since I know I'll be doing plenty of Pilates later on today, I'm gonna opt for just some gentle stretching here. Now that we've set the tone, I want to move into some planning in Notion. So since I work full time, weekends are when I batch most of my content. And I did not film last week. It was a busy time. I went out with a friend Saturday, right? Came home and was like, okay, I'm asleep, bye. Sunday, I went to see Les Miserables with my now fiance, and he actually proposed on Sunday. So did not get any filming in last week like I was supposed to. So I'm gonna have to film that video today as well, because tomorrow my fiance and I, we are in our movie bag. So we're seeing back-to-back movies tomorrow. So I'm of course not gonna have any time. Ooh, I was trying to wash my hair tonight too. I don't know if that's gonna get done. So yeah, between that 6-hour movie session tomorrow and then probably washing my hair tomorrow and like cleaning up here or there, preparing for the week, today's the only day that I can really get it done. I have that sit down talking head video, and that video is basically just about some life updates in regard to like, am I still teaching currently? What has my progression been post certification? And I want to squeeze in some short form Pilates videos, which I haven't done in a while. I am moving soon, and I don't know if I'm going to bring my prize treasures with me. So I want to squeeze as much content out of that little beautiful Pilates corner I have downstairs as possible. So I want to do that as well. We'll see what we can get done. Maybe like 1 or 2 videos. And so let me just go ahead and show you how I map out all this content. I like to block out my content, filming, editing, etc. in my Google Calendar. And then I'll also keep a rough content plan in Notion and try to keep it flexible. My current content template is from Jules Acree. And as I've listened to other creators who talk about YouTube strategy, I've added categories and pages based on the notes that I've taken from their frameworks. This is more so specifically for long form YouTube content. I'll link some of those folks down below. For short form, I think about what's visually engaging and of course different elements that are trending on short form platforms. But also I like to think about how the content can genuinely be helpful. That balance of value and aesthetics is always on my mind for sure. So I do have the template. I don't think I'm gonna use the template. I don't have enough time to like go through and put my shot list and my like, inspiration and whatnot. Really, I planned the long form videos well in advance. Even when I'm like exercising, for example, sometimes I just do these exercises on the fly. So I'm just gonna put in my little box here the topic of my short form, and then I'll figure it out when I get downstairs. I'm thinking chair, like I haven't done a chair flow in a while. I wanna look through my photos just to see, or even like my Instagram. Typically I'll post those shorts right on Instagram and TikTok, so you can refer to my Instagram feed, follow me. What have I done? I haven't posted really since my little Q1 update. So I have done, like in terms of Pilates, I only have like 2 Pilates videos. Like I have 5 total in the most recent months. So I have done balance control front. I've only done 1 no, I've done 2. I've done 2 chairs. Okay. I love the chair. Yeah, so I think all the chair ones are pretty much less like flows and more just like separate exercises that I like good doing. And then I'll stitch them all together. And I honestly feel like just because we're kind of pressed for time, it makes sense to do an exercise, right? So sometimes the chair ones, for example, I will do like a series of exercises. So like 1 second of this exercise, 1 second of this exercise, 1 second of this exercise, stitch them all together and put a cute little sound over it. I feel like for like reformer and Cadillac or like mat exercises, it seems to be just me showing one exercise. I need a chair exercise that I can kind of show the full thing. Let's do swan into triceps, and then we'll do single arm swan, and then we'll come off, like transition off into just like a little cat stretch. Right, so that would be one of them. That's chair, girl, chair. So I have a repurpose to long form, scripted voiceover, edited to trending audio, a mini vlog, and a new film and edit required. The combination of these two. Cadillac. Roll down bar flow, like I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm just gonna say like rows plus flowy spinal articulation. We could do some leg lifts, child. We could do a lot there. We'll just do 3 videos. We're on the fly. Leg springs, just leg spring series. Let's see if I can make that cute. If not, we could scrap it. Okay, let's go downstairs. a good smoothie. My head is pounding. Did I look good? You let me know. Did I look good? The only thing is that you can like barely see my head when I'm rolling all the way down. Done with that. We can check that off our list. Let's do smoothie because I'm gonna pass out. I basically finished my smoothie, but I took a quick break, changed my clothes, and then talked to my sister. She just gave birth to my little niece yesterday, so just kind of catching up and seeing how she's doing, and they're doing wonderful, thank goodness. So now as I finish up the rest of my smoothie, we're gonna do a little chit chat, just a life update. So I know I've mentioned sporadically that I am in the process of moving again. I've been trying, honestly, it's kind of been a little challenging, but like filming in a transitional space is kind of hard. I knew when we moved in that we weren't gonna be here for very, very long. I still wanted to like decorate places like my office because I literally spend every waking moment in here practically. And then I also wanted, you know, to set up my equipment space downstairs and whatnot, just to like make the current situation feel like home. In that vein, I've kind of caught myself in that perfectionism spiral, right? Everything has to be, you know, absolutely perfect and settled and clear cut before I kind of show up, that I have to kind of pose as this expert or this person that has to have it all together. So I'm trying to remind myself that done is better than perfect, right? Showing up as I am, authentic is how progress is made. Everything is figure outable, right? I don't need to have the most aesthetically pleasing space. As long as I'm making meaningful, authentic content, then like that's all that matters really. And I also have to remind myself that like, girl, no one cares, okay? Just do you. On another note, I just mentioned in the beginning of this video that I did get engaged. This literally happened like last week, so today's Saturday. Got engaged this past Sunday, but don't ask me about a wedding, child. I don't know what is going on. I don't know where I'm gonna be at the latter half of this year, let alone wedding planning. The plan is really to get kind of settled and situated in the next coming months to a year, and then we can start like thinking about wedding planning. So might be kind of like a longer engagement, but not like over 2 years. So we'll just see what happens. Like we'll get situated and then we'll start to plan when we feel like we're ready to plan. I don't think I'll share too much about the wedding planning process on here, unless it has something to do like how I'm staying sane and not losing my mind during this like wedding process, and like my systems and my routines around taking care of myself during that time, because it is a stressful time. But as you know, I did launch a Substack, and those are some of the topics that I'll kind of get into on there. So go check it out. It's called Mindful Musings, and basically every month we do like monthly reflections. We do a little book club, book of the month situation. And then I also have a series that I'll be doing called The Messy Middle, where I just literally share all the tea essentially behind the scenes. So that will definitely involve engagement and like wedding planning and that kind of process a little bit more in detail. If you want to hear more about the wedding planning and whatnot, then go ahead and subscribe to my Substack. It'll be down below. So I'm gonna take a moment, finish up the smoothie, and then what I'll do, I'm filming on my Sony ZV-E10 now, but I need this camera to film my sit-down video. As you can tell, I just kind of changed my shirt and changed into some comfy pants so I can sit on here and film my talking head video that I showed you a little bit ago. I'm gonna go ahead and switch you guys over to my iPhone. It is the iPhone 15, so the camera quality should be good for vlogging, for like a little behind the scenes film moment. Studio that I was ever hired at, one of those kind of smaller boutique studios with a smaller, more intimate clientele. I was still teaching there on the weekends primarily. So essentially going back to part-time while I had a whole full-time job. But long story short, after moving a little bit farther away than the bulk of the studios that I was teaching at, I decided, you know, driving, it just didn't really make sense to be, you know, commuting for that for that length of time. So I made the decision to A, step away, but also B, invest in myself, right? That was a good one. It was a little juicy, but I'm glad it's done. It is 5:51, so minutes to 6. Mike is back. I don't know if I ever told you my fiance's name, by the way. His name is Mike. He has a bunch of other names, but Mike for the YouTube. He said he's gonna make some din-din, so that's gonna be nice. I'm actually very surprised that I got everything done basically before 7, because I was like, I don't know, the sun's going down at like 7:20-ish, and I stopped to talk to my sister. Yeah, I'm surprised that I got everything done, but I think I kind of just like knew what I wanted to say in that last video. Also, it was a very much so like life update, real life video, not something that I'm like teaching. So I feel like it was just really easy for me to get through it. And those are the kind of videos that I love. I want to kind of just wind down and be in my little robe, maybe do a nice little face mask, just kind of take care of myself. We started off on a very soft note, but also want to end on a soft note, right? I think the rest of this vlog is just going to be chill, right? If you're cozied up, if it's the end of the day, feel free to wind down with me. As you can see here, I don't know if you can see, but I bought Throne of Glass, but the tea is that I'm still reading Onyx Storm. It's in my bedroom on my nightstand. So I feel like psychologically, when I buy the next book, this happened with Iron Flame too. And also I just feel like Iron Flame was like pretty good. I feel like Onyx Storm, I'm still reading it because it's a little bit slow for me, but I'm midway through, so it's definitely getting a little bit more, interesting. But I feel like the tip for me is that when I buy the next fantasy series that I plan to read, which is the Throne of Glass series, it makes me want to read like the current book that I'm reading faster. I can't wait to get into this. I heard it's really, really good. I haven't read ACOTAR at all. I heard that this was not like better, but like kind of low-key better. I think I might want like a little palette cleanser from the Empyrean series. And it doesn't seem like she's very lengthy, so this will be a good little, hold on, child. Is this the second book? Wait. Wait, hold on. See, this is why you gotta read. Let me see. I think Throne of Glass is the second book. Oh, was Assassin's Blade like the prequel? Oh, that's why. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I did hear that as well. Assassin's Blade is the prequel. Now, do you need to read it in the same order? For over a decade, SJM's recommended order puts Assassin's Blade first. She just redid her website and now lists Assassin's Blade third. I personally read Assassin's Blade first, also after finishing ACOTAR, and fell in love with. I say follow the box set and try Assassin's Blade first before shuffling the books. SJM recommends to read it after Crown of Midnight. If you don't read it first, that's my recommendation as well. Reading it third allows you to get to know Selena at the same pace as the other characters, then go back to the before during the natural lull in the storyline. Reading it first gives you insight into Selena's character, her motivations before the first book. I just started the series and I started with Throne of Glass. Some say you'll be confused about the plot starting this way, but I'm not confused at all, TBH. It basically has some references to things that people don't know about yet, and there are few and far between. I appreciated the Assassin's Blade stories much more reading it third. Okay, so mixed emotions. Okay, SJM recommends a third, I recommend fourth. Child, I don't think it matters. I'm going to read Throne of Glass first. I'm gonna read Throne of Glass first, Crown of Midnight second, and then Assassin's Blade third. And then we'll go on to Air of Fire, etc. So anyway, I kind of will do more research on that. I still have a whole book to finish. Don't want to just do like fiction fantasy on my book of the months. Like I do have 2 books that I got that are, more self-helpy, more personal growth. And I haven't read them yet. I got them a while ago. They're also really tiny as well. So I could finish these probably a day. And I also want to provide some of my thoughts on them as well. These were recommended by Jody Taylor, fellow NU alum, go Cats. She recommended The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks and The 6 Types of Working Genius by Patrick Lencioni. Definitely really excited to start The 6 Types of Working Genius because I need that. I need clarity. So I think these 2 books very much coincide with where we're going, like this transitional phase, thinking about what the overarching vision for my career looks like. I expect these to be on my Substack as well at some point. I don't know how we just got into a book tangent, but at any rate, I'm gonna go eat some food and then let's meet in the bathroom. We'll do a little wind down and then we'll come back in here to read my book. After filming and planning, I delight in giving myself space to just rest and soften. I might grab a little treat, go for a walk, or just start to wrap up the day like I'm doing here, doing a little self-care, and then I'll do my wind down. Even with full-time obligations, I'm learning that I can build something meaningful, slowly, gently, and on my own time. Mike just made some cookies, so I'm gonna go munch on some cookies and then we'll get cozy for some reading. Child, can you believe we are still on Onyx Storm? I am trucking through though. I'm trucking through. We're gonna get it done. Anyway, I think today was a success. Today was a productive yet cozy day, which makes it the perfect Saturday in my book. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. Here's to being intentional with the time that we do have. I will see you in the next one, and don't forget to stay mindful. Bye.